Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pathfinder Kingmaker. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're supposed to join me today as we talk to many people here in the Rushlight Fields. It's apparently it's a tournament, and we're gonna be drunk and all the other things. I'm not really sure how that's gonna go, but Stefano Mosconi over here has things to say, I think. Since your last encounter, which was when? An arrogant nobleman from Pitax who attended your reception. Oh. Stefano Mosconi has put on a little weight, and his appearance has become even more festive. As you approach, a polite smile blooms on his face.
Why, if it isn't Queen Gilladel, please allow me to congratulate you on your success.
You were less polite last time we spoke?
I concede my mistake. I suppose I had met a king for a... I supposed I had met a king for a day, whose state would last a few months at best.
Sure. I'd never imagined you would match my king in dignity, let alone that your country would become a worthy rival for Pitax. This isn't the first year the tournament has been held, apparently, because I think my character understands what the word once means. But anyway, why was it? Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, last episode I had this whole thing about... Anyway, it's weird. You might get to see it again, because I think they're copy-pasting some of the lines. Why was I just invited this year?
I mean, no offense when I say this, but both you and your state were frankly inconsequential, not significant enough for our attention.
That's what inconsequential means, yes, in that context anyway.
But your victory at Brevoy's border and your subsequent coronation changed all that. In truth, King Girovetti only invites those he has identified as worthy rivals for the tournament.
So Girovetti considers me a rival? I didn't think I'd be given... I didn't think I had given him any cause for a feud.
The unfortunate reality is that your very existence, along with the strength your kingdom has acquired, is cause enough. What would happen were you to join with Mivon against Pitax? Or perhaps you might seek to extend your lands west and not stop at the border? What if merchants from Brevoy began traveling through your lands, bypassing Pitax entirely? And of course, the most important question, and Mosconi's grin turns predatory, do you sit securely on your throne, or does Pitax stand a chance of expanding east?
Well, at least you were honest with me. Hiccup or not, I appreciate the warning.
Think nothing of it. I have great interest in seeing how events will unfold.
Farewell.
Until we meet again, I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will, and I will forget your voice, because I'm pretty sure that was not your voice when we first met. But that is the nature of me, actually, because I should have a system to... knowing which voices people have, and it's definitely possible to do that. The Quest Electri, it's a utility item, has 0 charges, though. What the heck is that? Owner of this book... Oh, they forget about the... Okay. Irse Kalesi. An elf in leather armor scans the crowd intently. He seems to be the only one at this celebration not participating. He's also the only one, besides the guards, whose weapon isn't sealed. Or sheath. The sheath isn't sealed. Because... I don't think sealed here means what it should mean. I need to look at my weapons. So, a seal means, it's a mark. It's a way to know, it's just a way to know if something has been opened or not. In modern day, it is, or actually, I don't know how they do it in the very modern day, but for example, if like your electrical board, for example, the public facing part of your electrical board, the one that is sealed, it's got a little bit of a seal in there. You can definitely break the seal. That's what seals are for, to be broken. But then they will know if it has been tampered with, and that's how it works with letters in medieval times. Anyway, you got those seals made of wax and whatnot. That's how it works. I was actually thinking of another modern day example of a seal. However, seal can mean, in at least sort of figuratively speaking, closed. Can mean closed. However, you can't do that with the scabbards and with sheaths. You can't close it because that's the very nature of sheaths. So I always assumed that sheaths were the sealing of the sheaths. Well, I always assumed. Last episode, I assumed that the sealing of the sheaths was just to make sure we hadn't used our weapons, which would make some sense. But why wouldn't you do that to the guard? Unless, of course, this is supposed to mean that they have used their weapons already, and that's why they're not sealed anymore. Irsay says, "Your Highness, welcome to Pitax. Irsay Khaleesi, Captain of the City Guard, at your service. I hear you're not pleased with the way Irovetti rules." "Ah, the rumors that get around. I recently heard that a tale of a ghost in the academy. Turned out it was just a withered parquet floor that was speaking." You don't seem to be enjoying the celebration. "The celebration is for you. For the city guard, it's just another work day. And right now, our work is preventing disruption of the festivities." "I thought Pitax was a city without laws." Did I? Apparently I did. Where do the guards come from?" Sure, because those are the same thing. "Even pirates and smugglers have laws of a kind." Yes, I was rambling about that last episode. And also, you're not in... Whatever. It's not the same kind of... It was a bad question. My question was bad. Of course his answer is going to be bad. Anyway, he says... they need someone to keep the order, and the city guard was created by the trading houses not long after the city was founded. We're paid by the citizens, not all of them like us, but they all understand that things are better with us than without us. Okay, I think I understood what you meant. Irovetti seems to have a tight grip on his power over the city, I'm gonna say. Oh, yes, the trading houses hate him, of course, but, well, first and foremost, he has hostages. Second, each of the families is afraid to act alone, but they're all incapable of acting together. Gaspare Liacenza tried to unite them, but to no avail, and it's probably for the best, frankly. The last thing we need is combat in the streets. Irovetti can be blamed for many things, but at least he took power quickly and without carnage. Now Irovetti's enemies have nothing to do but sit around like High Priest Yarns, praying for Calistria to send her giant holy wasps down to take him away. Who might you recommend I meet here? Well, that depends on the purpose of your visit. If you're here on business, well, you already know King Irovetti, of course, but it would be worth your time to speak with Gaspare Liacenza, too. The trading houses may have lost much of their former power, but they're still capable of many things, and if you'd like to partake on our renowned culture, there's Anemede Bellavada, the most famous bard in the city, and Natalia Gitarin as well, headmaster at the academy. Just take care, they can't stand one another. I hear you're not pleased with the way King Irovetti rules. Yeah, I can't do that check again. Be careful. Aw, what a shame. Maybe I could have done something interesting there. It wasn't a ridiculously high check. DC 36. Yeah, but anyway, it's late game check. I suppose it makes some sense. It doesn't actually make much sense. You should be good at doing things, and, like... We're not trying to convince a king. That's what I'm saying here. But anyway. Because we're not... If you keep growing the DCs, then you're never good at things. It's just random all the time. Which it is. It is random all the time. We got Timon Guest and just some guests. Or Timon, or whatever. Zinmirgia. Nope, that was not Zinmirgia talking. Zinmirgia over here not doing anything. We got a ferocious Hodag. That's the thing that's making the noise. And we got a guest over here. This is interesting. No. What? Oh my god. Okay, I think that's a dead end back there. We have a wyvern over here. We also found something back here. Just some sky metal cog or whatever. Owlbear. Some guests. Pitax Warden. Daggermark guests. Guests. Okay, a lot of them. Misteriado is the name of this person. Sounds like a character out of Star Wars or something. I don't know. Oh. It can be interacted with. I don't even know what to say. Oh. Place your bets. Come on, come all. A battle of spellcasters. Secrets of the unknown. That's the bookmaker over here. Not the bookkeeper. Oh, that's what Misteriado is here. That seems like a stalemate. Are they gonna kill each other? No, they didn't. That one hit. Oh, man. This one is going down fast. Attack bonus of 5, armor of 15. Yeah, they're just rolling badly. That's just how it goes sometimes. Oh. Immune with that breath weapon. We all saw that coming. They actually hit each other. Yeah, that was basically a game of dice. Oh, no, they're doing it again. No, goodbye. Goodbye. I don't want any of that. What do we have? Just some guests. Some food as well. I'll take that. Because, of course, I can. It's weird that I can, but I can. Got a manticore over there. Let's look at the map. Oh, we still haven't done the full circle. Need to be careful about that. Need to be careful about what fog of... Oh, yeah, that's not never being opened. What fog of war we find. Or uncover, I should say. Because there are people in the middle. And this circles back to the beginning, I think. Man, this map is enormous. Oh, there's something going on in here. Amid the tournament's frivolity, you notice that two men nearby are having a heated but hushed discussion. One which you'd think... Sure. One wears flashy clothing fit for an entertainer, whereas the other wears the steel armor and red cloak of Pitax's guard. It's difficult to hear what they're saying. However, Jethal can do the thing. I can also stealth a little bit, but that's probably... No, it's about the same difficulty. This one is a little bit easier. Let's eavesdrop from distance. Although the two huddle near one another, their voices only occasionally rising above the ambient laughter and music, you're able to overhear the rest of their conversation. Or their conversation at all, because I didn't hear anything. The guard sternly chides the entertainer. I don't know quite what you're up to, Amar, but I know that look. You're planning something dangerous. This isn't the time. You know, he's become harsher about... Look around you, Talwyn. The celebration is just more blood and sport to cover the ongoing troubles, and we've both helped shepherd it along. This isn't the future we planned for, but it's the one the fates have dealt. Can we really stand by? And Amar begins to raise his hand and strike a pose as if preparing to make a bold declaration. The guard's hand intercepts Amar's arm, firmly preventing the entertainer from making a scene. You know how harsh justice is these days. I've seen it with my own eyes, and it would crush me to see noble intentions harming good people, especially like you. I appreciate those feelings. I do. Amar gently removes Talwyn's hand from his arm, but what Pitax needs now is action, and I intend to act. The entertainer looks up, spots you, and smiles as Talwyn frowns and sadly walks away. It's a rare day that life emulates screenplays, Your Highness. Could it be that heroes have arrived in the people's time of need? Oh, heroism, says Lindsay. That's exactly what we do. See that symbolism on his clothing? That marks him as a member of the Red Crescent Theater in Pitax. A fellow artist. She eagerly extracts her journal from her backpack, I assume. Imagine the stories we could write together. I like this question. What seems to be the problem? I first arrived here 5 years ago, answering King Iravetti's call for artists and actors to make Pitax a new crucible of the arts. Admittedly, the king dedicated plenty of money to building new theaters and schools. Art only thrives, though, when there are visitors and patrons to pay for it. Amar sidles closer, lowering his voice. And that's where Iravetti has failed.
The Pitax River is our lifeline, connecting us to the outside world. River pirates know it, and they prey upon incoming travelers. You might think the king would thwart these pirates and defend his people, but no. He's only sent escorts to protect key shipments, leaving everyone else to the pirates' depredations. This tournament, it hides how we suffer from the king's inaction. Now, when the king's soldiers cannot or will not vanquish the villains, what happens in the stories? He winks and gestures knowingly. That's right. Heroes step in. Numerous victims have told me of the attacks, and I have pieced together the approximate location of the pirates' camp. If you can ambush and defeat them, traffic will flow, commerce will thrive, and you will command the adoration of the boatmen, dock workers, artists, and more. Naturally, I'm prepared to write a play dramatizing your exploits. What do you say? Before I accept, I have questions. The wisest protagonist always has questions. What would you like to know? How many pirates are out there? It varies by the report. The camp would have a few dozen, or could have a few dozen, so he might try to take them by surprise. Why hasn't the king acted against the pirates? That's unclear. It might be a lack of soldiers, or perhaps it's a lack of will. Leaving the pirates alone might also undercut political or economic enemies in some way, but at what cost? Is there a reward? Amar laughs nervously. The term starving artist was fairly common in Taldor. Perhaps you haven't heard it before. I do not have much wealth, but I can help you win the people's adoration. I also understand that among the theater's props are a few enchanted items of actual value, so perhaps I can entice you with those. Sure. I know enough to make my choice then. I'm ready. Amar grins eagerly. Then it's settled. I'll write down the directions real quick, and when you're done, you meet me in Pitax so I can hear your account. No doubt the magistrate will be pleased to stop getting piracy complaints too. He draws a roll of parchment from a scroll tube. I hope you'll arrive in time to see my latest production. Speaking of which, I'm already late to oversee its rehearsal. Jethal unrolls the script and reads a few dozen lines. She winces and grimaces at several points before throwing the parchment to you. Utter drivel! This man is an amateur, and his work is an affront to art. Now that's more like it, says Amory. Let's go crash those pirates, and we would better not waste time here. I don't like Pitax or its people. Everyone is always trying to cheat you or swindle you or drag you into some other cunning scumbaggery. Consider this a little preview. Good hunting. And I got an excerpt from Tearful Are the Skies. That's a turn of events. Tearful Are the Skies. That's the one. That's quite an excerpt. The Fat Duke. Why is it capitalized? I think it's because it's the characters. Rage. Okay, it's all fine. If it's an excerpt, we can see the whole thing later. We don't need no appetizers. I just eat the whole main plate. Or whatever. What's it called? You know, I just eat the plate. Yeah, whatever. It's good. Moving on. People. There's a lot of people that we need to meet. Please be fast and always move at maximum speed. That's not a thing that they do, unfortunately. We got some guests. We have a Barker. And apparently a lockpicking contest that I am gonna fail. Test your finesse against the finest dwarven locksmithing. Crack the lock, get the prize. Who will challenge the best dwarven locks of the 5 Kings Mountains? Swindler. What's going on? Do you know your way around a lockpick? Why not show off your skills? Here we have 3 chests, bound with the finest dwarven locks straight from High Helm. One attempt is 500 gold. Open 1 lock, you get some of your money back. 2 locks, and you get back more than you paid. Open all 3, and you get the grand prize. Yeah, I won't do it. However, I will do it, because I am curious. So I'm saving here. Because I'm curious as to what DC that is. DC 500? Probably. I'll try to pick the locks. Oh, there they are. Okay. Oh. Oh, it was only a DC 24. That's not too bad. I didn't mean to do that. My god. You can buy every lock seen in the contest and many... I don't want to buy locks.
Oh, she succeeded. Like, trickery succeeded. A DC 36. She rolled just above. Okay, well, we're gonna fail this. There was a trap. Are you kidding me? Not options. Reloading. Yeah. Permanent dexterity debuff. Screw you. Screw you. I'm not dealing with that. Some food. Good. Yeah. I said I wasn't gonna do it. I actually... I was considering not reloading. Or, yeah, not reloading if I just failed the second check. Let's go this way. It looks like there's this big mountain wall over here that just, you know, I thought had a bunch more people in there, but apparently it doesn't, which means that we do have some people that we haven't talked to, but only a couple. I think I've seen them all in the map anyway. Or maybe I've seen them already as well. Dre Yarns, yeah. Yeah, I did see them. Oh well. What do we have over here? Wand of Pernicious Poison. And, not even Masterwork Daggers. Good. Let's have a chat with Dre Yarns over here. Oh, a new face at the celebration. I am pleased to meet you, Dre Yarns, High Priest of Calidria, or Callistra, I don't remember, I'm drunk, at your disposal. Vanity, futility, vexation of spirit, says Harim. Mumbles Harim, rather. Callistra is the goddess of revenge. I'm sure many mention Irovetti in their prayers to her, and probably not with the kindest words. You are well versed in matters both spiritual and political. Of course, it's not my place to say what people pray to my lady for, but you are right that many would wish to for revenge upon him. To be honest, our temple has only benefited from his rise to power. Irovetti isn't stingy with his donations, and the celebrations he holds are beyond all praise. The king himself, though, his exorbitant pride is irritating. Calistria dislikes those who would place themselves above the gods, and I wouldn't be surprised if she teaches him a lesson sooner or later that I could deal with. Though. There's something else that I find harder and harder to tolerate. You see, the goddess patronizes bodily love, but only that given voluntarily. It is sometimes difficult for me to protect our young priests and priestesses from his unsolicited attentions. I fear to... that only that one that received voluntarily. Because I was going to say, if it's not given voluntarily, it's not love. Well, also, or bodily love anyway. Anyway, I fear to imagine how hard it must be for our beautiful Anamede, or what Atalia Gitarin must deal with. The king is said to often mistake the academy for his personal harem. Do many Pitaxians worship Calistria? Of course, she's been the patron goddess of Pitax since its founding. The goddess likes our joyful town, and its citizens love her in return. If ever you visit Pitax, you would surely enjoy the proud spikes of her cathedral. It's the most beautiful building in the city. Who might you recommend I meet here? There are many prominent people here, as usual. My first recommendation would be Maestro Anamede. Many would give their lives to exchange words with her. She's Pitax's best singer and the finest of its women. I've heard you're not exactly happy with Irovetti's reign? Oh no, I've no issue with his reign. He's a generous donor, and the celebrations he hosts are beyond praise. The king himself, though, his exorbitant pride is irritating, and I said that already. Okay, hate your cult, die! So I can just come in here and murder them all. Also, the sound... I noticed that when I was speaking. Yeah, let me fix it. And it's fixed. I don't know what that was. Nunzio Arpaia, we talked to you already. What? Gasperi Lecenza. Yeah, I didn't talk to Gasperi over here. That's the last one, I think. My regards, Queen Gilladel. Gasperi Lecenza, at your service. Tell me about yourself.
I'm the head of the Lancenza family and master of what remains of the Iron Fox trade house. Before Irovetti took the crown, it would have been my family receiving you at the house. Alas, we're simply guests at his celebrations now. What caused you to lose influence? It's a dark and sordid story, and I swear I'd give my life to learn the full truth of it. Pitax was founded by 4 families and ruled by their 4 trade houses for centuries. We quarreled from time to time, of course, and property didn't always change hands peacefully, but none of us would dream of impinging on another family's lawful rights. And then Irovetti appeared. We underestimated him, though thought him nothing more than another adventurer like the thousands of others in the region. He handled matters quickly and chaotically, with assets running through his fingers faster than chips at a card table. His wealth grew rapidly, but he still wasn't a big fish, for a while at least. He invited representatives from all the trade houses to play cards. No one really knows exactly what happened, but by morning, he owned most of their assets, including the crown. They suspected a rigged game and sent representatives from the families to discuss the matter with him, and then a wave of disappearances rolled across the city. Unrelated, of course. My brothers, the former kings of Pitax, disappeared, along with many other honorable people, and Irovetti made it clear that the lives of his hostages would depend... Oh, so they didn't disappear, they just were made hostage. And their lives would depend upon our obedience. He was king, and our wealth and power lay in ruins. And the citizens of Pitax seem to love Irovetti, though. It would seem so, wouldn't it? Yet appearances can be deceiving. Yes, he's made many rich and happy, but there are many more lives that he has dragged through the mud for his own endless celebration. Trust me, there are many who would gladly put an end to his rule, but the king has so many spies that everyone's afraid to even discuss it, which he's not. It's interesting that you say that. Anyway, ask the head of his precious academy, Atalia Gitarin, and what she thinks, or maybe High Priest Dre Yarns. You'll see their mouths shut tighter than an oyster's shell. Who might you recommend I meet here? I would do better to tell you whom you should avoid. There's a gloomy, sickly-looking gnome wandering about, Carni Viril, chief of the so-called Thieves' Guild. He's Irovetti's primary business partner, and they understand the word business quite broadly. So you said so-called Thieves' Guild. What is it that he really does? Certainly not picking pockets. The fellow came from Numiria shortly after Irovetti started his reign. I won't lie, the Pitaxian trade houses occasionally made some questionable deals, but before Irovetti, those like Viril were driven from the city faster than you can say, first dose is free. The man's a drug pusher. He sells the blood brush extract. They say it enhances all senses extraordinary and evokes vivid visions, but also affects minds and could be toxic in repeated doses. I saw those who overuse it. They could not put 3 words together. Yeah, like alcohol, I suppose. Except alcohol doesn't make you any better. It's just the bad things. Because of Viril, half of the city's youth is on his trash. Apparently they don't have alcohol in here, despite me finding many bottles of alcohol all over the place. And Irovetti's pleased as punch about it. The more times the citizens spend in altered states, but not the alcohol ones, apparently, the fewer questions they ask. The gnome also uses his own product. It affects both the body and the mind. He fears his own shadow, seeing deception and trickery everywhere. Those who deal with him hope for fabulous profits, but they more often than not end up at the bottom of the river. Yeah, sure. Whatever you say, my dude. Let's see if I can get inside the tent. Or whatever. How do I get in there? Oh, right, through here. Save the game, just in case, because this might be an option, a secret option to murder myself. Oh. They forgot to script. They forgot to script them to not allow me through. It still might be a secret option to murder myself, though. But apparently all we had to do is just go through it again. I got some Burks over here. Good stuff. And a extend meta magic rod.
3 charges. Oh, how rich I am with so many charges for sure. Got a warden. There's nothing here. That's weird. Did I misread or did I misunderstand what the guard actually said? We got a thing though. Where? Oh, there. It is a club. +3. Lycanthrope Bane Disruption Club. Such a name. It does sound like, you know, a club that you would have membership to, though. Oh, you can't go in there. I don't think you... I'm not sure you were supposed to be here. I mean, I suppose you were, because it was a, there was a hidden thing. So let's get ourselves into the tournament. Nunzio over here. Hello. Yeah. I'm ready to participate in the Fisher's Triathlon. Let's begin. I forgot his voice. It's fine. Trumpets sounded over the arena, announcing the commencement of the Fisher's Triathlon. We were to distinguish ourselves in 3 sports, if you could call them such. You be the judge, dear reader. The first was fish carrying, if you can believe it. They built narrow bridges over pits of mud and placed barrels on either end. One side filled with fish and the other side empty. The goal was to get all the fish from one side to the other. Or, if they forgot to the again, apparently they just copy... They're just Control F, the, and then deleting them randomly. Barehanded and without falling into the mud. I'm sure this is just what you imagined for a royal tournament. Throwing fish at your opponents was prohibited, but there was one unofficial but well-understood rule in this tournament. Don't get caught. We had to decide which one of us would participate, as well as how fair we wanted to play. Well, it's gonna be we tried to cheat by discreetly throwing fish at our opponents. And, because we can do that. Competing honestly among such company would be more embarrassing than losing. As Gilladel ran across the bridges with heaps of fish in her arms, she deftly tossed a fish beneath the feet of the Gralton competitor, who slipped and fell into the mud. Another fish found its way right to the dagger-mark competitor's forehead, sending him down alongside the Graltoner. The judges didn't notice a thing. We won the first round. The second round was untying knots. Competitors would be tied up on poles resembling ship masts, and they had to escape the ropes. We once again had a choice to make. No perception check passed for getting this one. Ooh, we noticed the sharpened coin glistening in the dagger mark competitor's mouth, and the Gralton participant had a blade in hand. That's not very sneaky. We exposed the cheaters, leaving us with fewer rivals. The judges escorted the cheaters out of the arena, the crowd laughing and whistling all the while. With a third of the competition gone, Jethal easily outpaced the others, untangling the ropes and making her way to the judges while the others still wriggled in their bonds like flies in a spider web. We had won 2 out of 3 rounds. We seemed to have our victory in the bag, but with the rivals we were dealing with, there was no time to relax. The last round of the tournament was diving for river pearls. Huge tubs were filled with mussels in river water, and some empty jars had been placed on sets of scales. We would have to open the mussels with our bare hands, gather the pearls, and deposit them in our team's jar. Of course, if playing fair wasn't a priority, we could try weighing down the jar with other things as well. Well, it's all about how likely things are. That's unlikely. We are gonna lose this. We tried to cheat by slipping some pebbles into our jar. Yeah, but we're gonna fail. Yeah. The opaque jars on the scales just begged to hold more than pearls, but the judges were more careful here. As soon as Jethal tried putting just one innocent little pebble into our jar, she was caught red-handed and escorted from the arena, which is apparently just how they do. The crowd laughing and whistling all the while for a thing that could have been just a mistake. Meanwhile, some of the other participants used the distraction to put handfuls of stones and even nails in their jars. Did we win? Participate in the second... Well, we participated. That's what matters, right? That's the conclusion. Participate in the second contest of the tournament. Nunzio. Oh, yeah, we're going to need to talk to Nunzio over here. Your Royal Highness, welcome to the Rushlight Tournament. My name is Nunzio. Oh, I talked to you. I'm ready to participate in the boasting contest. Everyone's ready? Let's begin. The tournament continued with a boasting contest. The first participant, a man from Daggermark, stepped up to the podium and told a raunchy story about him sneaking into a temple of Calistria. Sexy shoeless god of war is apparently him. And seducing all the priestesses, including the high priestess, in a single night. The crowd was particularly amused by the suggestive glances he kept glancing towards one of the guests from Timon. She simply smiled mysteriously in response. The second participant was a guest from Gralton, who told a completely implausible tale about his travels across the plains, other plains rather, where he battled undead hordes and defeated a blood-curdling monster. Deadent. What the heck? What is the gazebo? The game is drunk. He was an average storyteller at best. He would be lucky to get a C for that story at the academy. But the listeners were inexplicably elated. Suspicious, we took a closer look at the crowd, and of course, we spotted a bard using some tricks of the trade, and likely a little magic, to aid the Gralton man's performance. Let's see what we can pull off right now. We snuck up on the bard, stabbed him in the back, and disappeared. Let's go that. The bard collapsed to the ground, choking on his own blood. By the time the crowd noticed, we were long gone. Needless to say, the audience's impression of the Gralton participants' performance was ruined. Then it was Pitax's turn. The kingdom's honor was represented by Anamede Bellavara, a sweet-voiced singer whose smile could win over the most withered of hearts. Oh, Anamede, but while her voice was smoother than silk, her words stung like arrows. With a soft smile, Anamede told everyone how she had spent months in our kingdom learning our secrets and invested in instigating a riot. Of course, the honest trade of the bard and the shady dealings of the spy often go hand in hand, but oh, Anamede, who could have expected such an ugly blow from such a lovely lady? She described in surprising and exceptionally critical detail how much the citizens of our young state suffered under the atrocities of the troll assaults and the magic plague. She never stooped to actualize, but she made it sound as though our queen, Baroness at the time, was simply drinking and debauching while her subjects struggled. She made our crusade against Vorticai look like a cunning conquest of Varnhold, and the war with the Tiger Lords was characterized as an irresponsible venture. Talk about cruel and unfair. When Anamede finished and left the stage, it was our turn to perform. And what feats did our participant decide to tell in their performance? Well, whatever likelier scenario we can intimidate. That's good. We can do that. We can also bluff. Let's intimidate, because that's a surefire way of doing it. In response to Anamede's story, she recounted how we dealt with Tartusio, another one of Iravetti's spies. Looking meaningfully at Anamede, Gilladel spoke of the sad fate that befell the last of Iravetti's spies, and what may be in store for any other spy, or other spies we might come across. The audience hung on every word, sometimes laughing uncontrollably, sometimes holding their breath to avoid missing anything. Gilladel finally brought the story to an end, and the viewers gave her a standing ovation as she left the podium. The woman from Timon, a priestess of Calistria, went last. She told stories of her love affairs in faraway countries and on other planes, casually mentioning an unpleasant disease she had contracted over her journeys that took her a long time to get rid of. Hearing that, the participant from Daggermark paled and grabbed at his belt, bringing roaring laughter from the rest of the audience. And finally, yay, because STDs, apparently that's what we're talking about here. Yes, STDs are a funny joke. And finally, actually, historically, they were really deadly. like specifically the Love's disease, or what was known in Europe as the Love's disease, which was syphilis. And yeah, they were deadly, and you would die from it. And finally, the judges announced the winner, Gilladel, of course. She walked up to the podium to thunderous applause and took another bow. Good stuff. And now we have another contest. However, we have the end of the episode as well, so we're gonna need to deal with this contest in the next episode. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pathfinder Kingmaker. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.